Do stat caps really matter in Fire Emblem Engage? This is something that I see every now and then, but I do see it quite enough that I want to talk about it. Some people will write off certain things because of specific stat caps, like, oh, they'll say, this class has a limit of this stat, so you can't use this class for this reason. Generally speaking, most stat caps don't matter at all, and in some cases they do. So for example, if you're trying to double enemies consistently, but you're on a class that has low stat cap. So for example, if you're on General, and you want to double consistently, you're looking at 17 speed. Now some units can exceed caps, like they have modifiers. So for example, Chloe gets additional speed, so you could have like a slightly faster General Chloe if you wanted. And also you can push beyond caps with passives like speed +5. For getting more speed, you could do Speed Taker in the case of increasing speed. So there's different ways to boost different stats, and you could even make a general that doubles consistently. Funny enough, if you threw Lyn on it and got it speed +5, like you could have like a 30 to 35 speed general. So like this idea that caps matter, I think is kind of like the old school of thinking for Fire Emblem games, where you put a unit in a class, or maybe a unit's limited, and there's very few, if any, ways to deal with those limits. So I understand the idea behind discussing caps. Now, obviously, there are things like, for example, Berserker is just basically worse than Warrior. Berserker has a dex cap of 23, which is low enough that you will hit it quickly. It also has a res cap of 11. So there are things with low caps, and it is relevant. But generally speaking, the good classes that people actually use tend not to have low caps. So this is definitely a balancing issue. Like obviously certain classes seriously suffer because their caps are so low. But generally speaking, most classes, like none of these units, this is a 7-man no DLC run, none of these units have a single stat that has hit cap. Like not one. So we have like an overleveled Goldmary, an overleveled Tamara, overleveled Fram, overleveled Anna, Chloe, and Alear. And none of them has hit any caps at all on Divine Dragon, Wyvern, Mage Knight, Martial Master even. Now Martial Master supposedly has low speed cap. So let's check this out. So speed cap, it has a speed cap of 28. That's not even that low. So yeah, and she's not even there yet. She's at 25. So this just goes to show that like caps don't matter as much as you think in this game. But even so, like if you want to run a class that has low caps in something, there's ways around it. Like low dex cap, there's hit engravings. Low speed, there's speed taker, speed plus. There's cooking, there's instructing speed, there's super instruct. If you're running DLC, there's rally plus. There's tonics. There's all these different mechanics that you can use to fix stats that kind of make limitations on certain stats largely irrelevant. And this is just something I see people throw out, like, oh, this character caps out here, and it's like, if you're playing on maddening mode, like this is a 7-man run, all these units are over leveled. Even on a 7-man run with over leveled units where I did all the paralogs before chapter 21, I haven't hit a single cap, and I can't see myself hitting any of these caps. Like a lot of these caps are quite high. Like even on Divine Dragon, the speed cap is 43. The strength cap is 41. So if I just level up, I don't know, like 40 more times, I might hit that. Like I just don't understand it. Like I'm nowhere near any of the caps. Even like the build is 13, and I think Alear is like 10% build growth, so it'll take me 30 more levels to hit build cap. Let's see. I'm not near the res cap, which is 25. Def cap of 35. A lot of the caps are quite high. It is weird that they even have caps, because like some of the classes, the caps are so high you'll never realistically hit them, and even if you do, the unit's basically overpowered by that point. So like unless you're star sphering and power leveling in Divine Paralogs, I can't see you hitting caps. Like this is more of like a post-game thing. Maybe that's something, like the reason why people always like to discuss caps, but I just don't get it. It's never been something I've run into personally, and the only time I have was when I had Panette on a Berserker, and she hit 23 dex, and 23 dex isn't terrible. With hit engravings, you're usually fine even on Berserker, funny enough. So it's not like she was seriously suffering as a result of this cap. And even on like general, general shouldn't even be trying to go for speed. So some of the caps don't matter at all. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. I just want to talk about stat caps. I know some people are obsessed with them. Most people, I think, don't care about them at all, and they don't really matter. And I kind of get that. But it is kind of a weird thing. I feel like the caps, like it's fine, they're relevant to what the unit is going for, but a lot of them are not realistically going to be hit. Like Halberdier has 76 HP cap. How are you gonna hit that? That's insane. Like most things, like in terms of speed, they cap at like 30 something, which is end game levels of speed with speed +5. If you're like 33 speed with speed +5, you're doubling most enemies even in end game. So like a lot of the speed caps are largely irrelevant. The only ones that really stand out are like sword armor, general, like even Great Knight's speed cap is 25, which is not bad. So 25 speed with speed +5, that's 30 speed. You're still doubling a lot of things, surprisingly. You know, and then like Martial Master, Martial Monk, 28, that's not bad. And yeah, like pretty much like in terms of strength cap, like if you're a physical class, everyone's strength cap is really high. It's like 40 something. If you're a magic class, the magical caps are like 40 something. The speed caps for most classes are like 30 to 40 something. Like build caps you're never going to hit. Defense caps are usually very high. The only ones, like they're way higher than what you would expect for a unit to hit. So like your bruiser classes, like Hero, it has like 34 defense. Like if you hit 34 defense on Hero, like this Goldenary is over leveled, she's only 27 defense and she has high defense growth. So if you're hitting 34 defense on Hero, you're popping off. Like you're like level 50, and your best units will realistically be like level 40 to 45 by endgame. So yeah, that's it for this one. I just want to talk about caps. Well, I don't think they matter that much. Definitely like and subscribe. Feel free to become a channel member if you want to. I am currently working on a strategy SRPG indie game that's going to be in 3D. It's going to take some time to get some art together and some animations and stuff and some background assets, but members can also vote on different aspects of the game. And you can also get a cool little badge icon that evolves over time, and some emotes you can use in comments and in live streams, which are 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. EST. But thanks for checking this out, and I'll see you in the next one.